If you've been listening to Dateable for a while now, you know that we're all about pursuing what works for you when it comes to dating, as long as you are intentional about it. The goal is to be honest about what you want. And sometimes that's casual dating or a fling. That's why we're so glad the app Fling exists if you aren't really in the market for a long-term relationship. It's time to remove the stigma too. Casual dating is absolutely a valid, confident choice if that's what you want at any age or life stage. The key is being aligned with your partner or partners. Fling is designed for women in mind. It's completely free to join for us ladies. You also get to choose who can see you, share photos privately, and keep things discreet, which gives you more control over the experience. So if you're looking to have a little fun while you're single, download the Fling app in the App Store or visit fling.me today. Again, download the Fling app in the App Store or visit fling.me today. Lately, I've learned that my confidence starts with feeling good in what I'm wearing. And this used to stress me out. But now I realize you don't need an overflowing closet. You just need a few pieces that make getting dressed easy. That's why we love Quince here at Dateable. They make high-quality essentials like ultra-soft organic cotton, premium Mongolian cashmere sweaters, and premium stretch denim starting at just $50. Everything's beautifully made, timeless, and easy to dress up or down. I just picked up a few of their silk camisoles in different colors, and they make every outfit feel more elevated. The best part is that Quince prices everything 50 to 80% less than similar brands because they work directly with ethical factories. Upgrade your everyday. Download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers or go to quince.com/dateable. Get free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada and the UK too. That's QUINCE.com/DATEABLE.
Julie here with another Quickie, and I'm here to talk about today that you're not too much, you just might be dating the wrong people. I feel like if I could go back to my dating life, especially in my 20s, although it did carry into my 30s as well, I used to feel like all the time I'd have these racing thoughts of I'm too needy, I'm asking for too much, I'm too emotional, maybe like I just expect too much from people. And it really took me a while to realize that no, I actually in a way suppressed a lot of my needs, but I was not asking for too much. It was just the wrong people I was asking from. So I want to flip in this episode the question of asking, am I too much, to who did I become in this relationship? Because you're not too much, you are who you are, and the relationship just might not be the right fit for you. Whether that's a relationship of years where you feel like I've become this version of myself that I barely recognize anymore, or even a dating situation where, you know, you're feeling like I feel too needy. Like, why won't this person meet my needs? And some of it obviously is expressing them, but some of it's maybe evaluating that they can't meet your needs. And that's okay. That's what dating is for, to evaluate, is this person a good long-term fit? Because a lot of times issue isn't how much you need, but it's the environment those needs are trying to survive in. I think one thing I've realized in myself and then talking to all the daters we have through Dateable is that how often people turn relationship outcomes into their identity. For instance, like if someone doesn't text back, it's I'm too much. I'm asking for too much. Like I don't need to talk to them every day. Like maybe I can just talk to them every other day or once a week. Or if someone avoids commitment, it's like I scared them away. It was me. Like what did I do? Or let's say someone pulls away after months of dating. Your mind goes to like I should have played it cooler. I think a lot of times we go to the problem is us because that's the one variable we can control. And also it's the one variable we see. We understand ourselves. But what if it's actually the relationship itself that deserves the scrutiny and not just like one end of it, but holistically, is it just the right fit? And it doesn't even mean that the other person on the other side is a quote unquote bad person. They just might not have a capacity for a relationship or a definition of a relationship that matches yours. again, it's the dating process to figure that out. I think one of the things that makes this all kind of play in, right, is you could be the exact same version of yourself, but in one relationship, you're constantly checking your phone, like asking questions like, does this person still like me? Did I say something wrong? They haven't replied in 8 hours. Like, what's happening? Do they hate me? Is it over? And hate that version of yourself. And I just remember this version of me. Oh my God, I remember it so clearly. It was when I was dating the British guy that ended up having to leave. And we did have a good time together. We had a good quote unquote relationship. I feel like it didn't fully get off the ground just because of timing, but I was also not a good version of myself in it. Like, I was very anxious all the time. And I was like constantly looking at my phone and waiting for him to message and not wanting to be the first one to reach out and playing games and wanting to show like, oh, this person likes me, and not wanting to be the one to always make plans and for them to make plans, but then withholding. And I was just a mess. Like, I was a mess of a person. And I think looking back, like, I didn't even realize it at the time. Like, I just thought like, oh, this is me. I have a lot of anxiety in relationships. It's just part of it, like at the beginning. And yeah, like there is some of it's that me. I don't want to say like he honestly wasn't doing anything wrong. Like, he really wasn't, in the sense of he didn't text me a lot during the work day, but he was working. And I think I made assumptions because he was on like a different, time zone for work, because even though he lived in the US, he was working like UK hours. So I made assumptions like, oh, he's not doing anything. Why isn't he texting me? But I also never had conversations with him. So I want to point out like some of it was on me, in the sense that like I didn't recognize my own feelings and then have communicate them and my needs. That being said, I think like I'll never know for sure, obviously, because our relationship didn't get the chance to play out. We also just might not have been like a good fit for each other long term, because even like in terms of when he was like away, when he had to relocate, I wanted to do a lot more video calls than him, for instance. And it was always a struggle. It was always a struggle doing calls and, messaging and all that stuff. And it's like when we got together, it was great and we really hit it off. But like the in between was not solid. And with my husband, when we were dating, it was so different. And I think a piece of it too, I do want to say, like, I think I did a lot of work on myself in that time. I think I really got to a place where I was less attached to the outcome and the need to control everything. So I do want to say, like, some of it's the person and some of it's where you are. I strongly believe that. That being said, he also just met me. Like, there was no games. There were no moments where I was feeling like, oh my God, is this person going to reach out? Like, are they going to make plans? Because it just felt very reciprocal from early on. And I just felt like I always knew where I stood. And, there was just none of that. And, I would message and he'd respond fairly quickly. Of course, it varied depending on what you're doing. I don't expect someone to respond like instantaneously all the time, but it was fairly instant in the sense like I didn't feel alarmed by it. And it just felt so different. Like, I didn't feel anxious in this relationship. And suddenly, like, I wasn't the needy, anxious person that, maybe I'm texting too much. Like, I like to text people. I've talked to UA about this. Like, I'm a texter. I want a guy that, like, I'm not afraid to text, right? So same person, different people that you're interacting with. Yes, there was some work done, but it was, I think ultimately, okay, yes, there was work done, but even before that, I had someone that came into my life before I met my now husband. Someone came into my life and they started to like kind of go hot and cold, and the new me was able to be like, hey, I don't want this anymore. Like, this isn't what I'm looking for. This isn't attractive to me. So I think there was kind of a way that I was able to now see it and say, like, I don't want to be the person that, feels like I'm needy, because I don't believe I'm being needy. I feel like I'm asking to be prioritized, which honestly is like the bare minimum of dating. So I think I rewired to like, what does this stuff mean to me? And then held the people that I was dating to that standard, and then ultimately found someone that could meet it. So I do think like, So I think the nuance really comes down here. Here's an example. Sometimes our anxiety really is ours to work on. Like, if you need constant reassurance every single day, if you panic every time someone has a busy week, if you're expecting someone to regulate like every single one of your emotions, like those are patterns on your own that are worth exploring. But if you have an anxious moment, every need you have is unreasonable, or you feel like every need you have is unreasonable, that actually isn't the same thing. Wanting consistency is not too much. Wanting honesty is not too much. Wanting someone to communicate isn't too much. The question isn't, do I have needs? The question is, are my needs compatible with what this person can realistically offer? And it goes the other way too, that one thing we hear a lot is like when you finally do have a healthy relationship after years of not, is sometimes it can go to, I don't even recognize myself. Like, I'm not anxious. I don't feel like I have all these unmet needs. And this isn't necessarily because you became like a brand new person overnight, but you've stopped spending so much energy trying to interpret all these mixed signals. And, when you do have a secure relationship, it can get rid of the security. So again, this is not to say that a relationship will save you, but also there's a balance of like, when you're in the right relationship, you might not feel some of the stuff that you once did. So like when I met my husband, I wasn't asking like, does he like me? All those like questions and thoughts were just not filtering. So I was able to just connect with him, be with him. And like I would any friend or anyone I met, like I was able to create a bond because I wasn't like swirling with all these questions. It was more about like, what are we doing this weekend? Like that is just such a different emotional experience. So I think with all of this, where I really want to get to, and hopefully this hasn't been a ramble, but I don't want people to start shrinking themselves or editing themselves. Like, I don't want you to be like, I won't ask for that. I won't bring that up. I'll pretend I'm okay. Like, I don't want to seem difficult. Like that's like the little by little how you're just like, becoming less and less yourself, because you don't want to become a shell of a human being. It's a long life to live. And the right person, again, will fall in love with like all you bring to the table. So don't shrink yourself. Don't diminish needs, and don't settle for like the basic core needs of a relationship or not being met. So with all this, I'm going to leave with a little bit of an action. The next time you catch yourself thinking, I'm too much, pause, ask yourself these 3 questions. What exactly am I looking for? Would I think this request was unreasonable if a close friend asked for it? And 3, am I asking the wrong person to meet a reasonable need? Or am I expecting one person to meet every emotional need I have? These questions will help you separate the healthy expectations from anxious patterns. And if you need more of this, again, I can't recommend our book, How to Be Dateable Enough, but there's a whole exercise that we do called Finding Your Dating North Star. And this will really hone in on those core needs you have and why you're dating in the first place, and act like kind of the baseline that someone needs to get through. So when you go to number 1, what exactly am I asking for? You have a very clear answer right there. You've taken the time to get this clarity before you meet someone, or if you've just started dating someone, it's also a good opportunity to check in with yourself. Like, is this person meeting my needs? Am I, being reasonable of what I'm looking for? I think a lot of times we just undersell and we feel like, we are too much and we're lucky to have met someone. And that's not true. And it's not sustainable is more important. So remember this, you are not too much. You are not asking for too much. Of course, in the situations where you're holding people to impossible standards, like you must text back within 1 second of me sending one, that's something to reflect on. But I think most people are not doing that. Most people, though, are probably dating people that just can't hold that space at all and can't be the person. So it's about 1, giving them the option to step up and be the person, sharing your needs and sharing what it is, because we can't expect people to be mind readers also. Again, I'll go back to the example I gave. I never shared anything with the guy from the UK, and that's on me. Like, I feel like if I had shared and then he said like, I can't do it, or like been like, yeah, and then not followed through, then I could be like, okay, this really isn't the right relationship. I didn't even give that opportunity. So I think if I was to redo a part of my relationship history, that's what I would have done first and foremost. And then you could walk away and be like, I set this person up for success and they showed me that it just wasn't right. So first and foremost, communicate it. But then also, if someone just can't meet it, like perpetually can't meet it, like I mentioned in the example before I met my husband, I had someone that just couldn't prioritize me at all. And I wasn't asking to be like the number one person in their life, like when we first started dating, but there's a difference when it feels like someone can't even meet you for like a drink or a coffee for an hour in their life and take that time. Like that doesn't feel good. So I got to the place where I was like, communicate. And then if they can't, then it's time to let them go. And then you know what? I met someone a couple months later that I never had to even communicate it to because it was just so clear right away. So hopefully this leaves you feeling a little sense of relief. You don't have to necessarily change every last thing about yourself. It's more about finding someone that complements it. Okay. Well, make sure to pick up How to Be Dateable and also stay tuned for season 23. Bye.